remote viewing. Today we will be talking about the real phenomenon and the risk of cosmic brinkmanship. Remote viewing, a guide to the truth. What does remote viewing even mean? It is closing your eyes and imagining. Is it the kind of meditation? Is it gazing into a crystal ball or reading the tarot cards? Depending on who you are, remote viewing is all of these things. So it can get confusing when you want to learn something and there are so many definitions of what that does mean. To me, on the other hand, remote viewing pretty much means martial arts. How do you learn martial arts? Well, first you have to look into it, do a little research. When you do, you find that there are many types of styles within the term martial arts. There are Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, Karate, just to name a few. The same reason is true for remote viewing. Remote viewing did not spring into existence overnight. In fact, its earliest ancestor can be tracked back thousands of years to the days of the Greeks and beyond. Most are remote viewing is a direct lineage dates from the 1930s, where the beginning of experiments in clairvoyance under conscious science like J.B. Rhine researched into telepathy and thought transference. Notably, such as the Upton Sinclair described in the book Mental Radio, and Reen Warklar, Mind to Mind, together with investigations into out-of-body states, contribute further to developments that would eventually lead to produce remote viewing. The history of remote viewing. Now, remote viewing is definitely not a new phenomenon. This ability or technique or method has been ours since the beginning of time. The formula, although a systematic and theological doctrine, as you said, of forth ancient records presented us with countless examples of humanity. Learn of inherent abilities to transcend the physical world. Now, what this means, of course, is that this knowledge has always been with us humans, but has always been very hard to come by because of its vast importance, because of its weight, of course, and because of its political and global effects. Now, to see the mind's eye, people place events separate from their physical realities. The ancients usually carved out these hieroglyphics, or they call them the paintings on the wall. Forgotten Egyptian tombs, the Emerald Tablet of Thoth, the Urania Book of the Cursed Miracles. All of these books, including the Old Testament, the Quran, the Kabbalah, these books, not to name a few, all give accounts of the journeys of the physical bodies of knights, that flight of soul to projections of consciousness. Obviously, the most recent history began in 1972, when the Central Intelligence Agency, however, learned that through various human intelligence sources that the Czech Republic, Chinese, the Soviets, the Germans, the Israelis, and even the British were all heavily involved in the study of various aspects of what we call today remote viewing. These investigations found many things that were outbreaking and controversial at the time. These bizarre programs were initiated firstly by the Nazis during the World War II. Exactly when is unknown, but the matter is of historical debate. It is widely held that the Russians captured numerous documents and recorded records held by Adolf Hitler, infamous Nazi occult bureau, were fallen to the Third Reich, and after these documents came to the Russians, well, of course, partially, they usually came through the property of various Allied intelligence services, which elected to study them further in the ensuing years to ensure that these knowledge did not disappear from the face of the earth. Going forward, the CIA then learned of these studies, obviously, questioned them, and obviously asked the question, do we have such potential? They found out that they did not have this potential, and they obviously went after it. The United States has never really considered it until now, obviously. If these other agencies are involved, then why are not we involved, was the answer. It was clear that the principal intelligence agencies for the United States needed to catch up to the intelligence collection efforts by the other nations, at least in the alternative methods of gathering intelligence. This led, obviously, to the CIA multi-program, which was led by the Technical Service Division and obviously empowered by the initial project managers that were over there. The Soviets and the other nations were heavily involved in this research and began, then the national security of the United States could be in jeopardy. Probably the simple notion that this era or this age was very capable of being, going very badly, since they were at the height of the Cold War. Going obviously on, there are many phenomena that became credible throughout the years and were measurable and definable and trainable. It was currently not 100% accurate, but then again, neither was anything else in intelligence collection assets. They all had their limitations. As long as one understood the limits of the technology, then the technology could be employed as other collectors of the information, another provider of these pieces of jigsaw puzzles. That was the truth of the espionage game. In short, the CIA was handed a new intelligence collection method of psychic spies.